A very good afternoon to the esteemed dignitaries, distinguished guests, respected faculty members, and dear participants. As we approach to the conclusion of the International Conference on Integrating Climate Action, AI, SDGs, and Water Management, hosted by the Indian Institute of Public Administration in collaboration with Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies Technical Campus, it is my honor to welcome you all to the valedictory session. Today, we gather to celebrate the remarkable success of this transformative event where ideas have converged, insights have been exchanged, and collaborative solutions have been envisioned for a sustainable future. To commence this auspicious session, I would like to invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly come forward to the lighting of the lamp as a symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Following this, let us invoke the blessings of Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, through a soulful Ganesh Vandana presented by the talented students of Vivekananda School of Engineering and Technology.
शरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणाधीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
चतुराय गान प्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुक मनसे
गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलाक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्म सदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्र परित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्ड खण्डकाया गीत साराय
गीत तत्वाय
गीत गोत्राय धीमहि गूढ़ गुल्फाय
गन्धवस्ताय
गोजय प्रदाय धीमहि गुणाधीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि Thank you.
Thank you, students, for the melodious performance. Now, I would like to request the respected dignitaries to please kindly take their places. Dr. Shamli Singh, ma'am, please be on the dais. Professor Amita Dev, ma'am. Professor C.K. Vashne, sir, Professor Emeritus, sir. Shri Amitabh Ranjan, sir, Registrar IIPA. Professor V.K. Sharma, sir, Senior Faculty IIPA, along with Professor Nidhi. To formally welcome everyone to this closing session, I would like to invite Professor Nidhi Sharma, Dean, Applied Sciences and Humanity, Vivekanand School of Engineering and Technology, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am, please.
A very good afternoon to the august gathering, Honorable Board of Management, DG Professor Amita Dev ma'am, Registrar IIPA Shri Amitabh Ranjan sir, Professor V.K. Sharma ji, Dr. Shamli Singh, our eminent chief guest, Professor of great stature, Professor C.K. Vashne sir, and Chairperson, Deans, CEO, the VIPS sir, and all the faculty as well as students gathered over here. On the behalf of organizing committee of the conference, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished speakers, delegates, and participants who have contributed to the success of the conference. Over the past 2 days, we have engaged in insightful discussion and deliberation on climate action and sustainable water management. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is in fact escalating reality. Rising temperature, erratic weather pattern, water shortage, and environmental degradation are threatening ecosystem, economies, and human well-being. Water in particular lies at the heart of this challenge. Access to clean water and efficient water management are not only vital for human survival, but also fundamental to achieving a broader sustainable development goals. Addressing these interconnected challenges require collective action and strong partnership between government, private sector, academia, and civil society. We all must work together to design and implement integrated strategy that leverage AI, advance climate action, and accelerate progress towards the attainment of SDG. For the conference, we are privileged for collaboration with IIPA for 2 days. The collaboration benefited not only the institution as a whole, but it has also left an indelible mark at an individual level also. I would like to offer a heartfelt thank to both leading national and international institutions, including KTH International Groundwater Arsenic Research Group, Department of Sustainable Development, Environment, Science and Engineering, KTH, Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden, International Society of Groundwater for Sustainable Development, JNU, IIT Roorkee, and so on. Additionally, I would like to express my gratitude to University of Leicester, Environmental Law Foundation, Namami Gange Project, CSIR, GGSIPU for their support in this particular conference. I would also like to express my gratitude to Honorable Board of Management for their guidance and support, our DG for continuous motivation, my colleagues, all the faculty members, especially Department of Applied Science and Humanities, staff member, and School of Engineering and Technology as a whole. As a conference convener, I am sure everyone will leave the room enriched. Thank you all for your invaluable contribution, and we look forward to meeting you again at the future gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. As we reflect on the enriching discussions and impactful sessions over the last 2 days, it is time to encapsulate the highlights and key takeaways from the conference. To present the conference report, I would like to invite Dr. Shamli Singh, faculty IIPA, to share the insights and outcome of this landmark event. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, and it is my privilege to present the conference report to the August gathering here. I welcome the dignitaries on dais and off dais on behalf of IIPA, and if I may be permitted, on behalf of VIPS TC as well. IIPA, in association with VIPS TC, organized a 2-day international conference on integrating climate action, AI, SDGs, and water management with an aim to bring together global experts, policymakers, researchers, and industry leaders to discuss innovative solutions for addressing climate challenges through tech-driven solutions like artificial intelligence, machine learning. This conference had a very vital role in strengthening the memorandum of understanding for the knowledge of the uninitiated. These two esteemed institutes already have signed an MOU on 21st of August 2023. And as IIPA has a legacy that we do not treat our MOUs as just a piece of paper. Maintaining that legacy, we went ahead and we collaborated and underscored our commitment to advancing education and research through strategic partnerships. Under the partnership of IIP and VIPS, we have collaborated in previous activities as well. To name a few, in April 2024, we hosted a successful awareness program which included a cleanup drive at Chhat Ghat and transit walk at Asita Biodiversity Park. And I'm very sure that with the new cleaning up drive of River Yamuna, we will be conducting more such activities. We also teamed up with VIPS for Ganga Pakhwada and other activities. Coming back to the conference, I would like to highlight the theme of the conference, which was very carefully crafted as it suggests the forward-thinking, technology-driven and solution-oriented dialogue. We can draw boundaries on maps, but nature knows no boundaries. Our actions have repercussions across the borders. Therefore, it is also the need of the time that we engage in such productive research and development through these platforms. And I'm very sure, looking at the discussions amongst the students, amongst the participants, that this has given you a platform to come up with your innovative ideas and suggestions. With this motivation, we have successfully concluded day 1, which was yesterday, and we have the background and purpose for the conference, which was discussed by my esteemed professor, Senior Professor Vinod Kumar Sharma, sir. We also had a series of addresses by Professor Amita Dev, Director General VSCNT, VSIT, who graced the session with her thought-provoking and data-loaded address. Of course, it was followed by the address of our registrar, Shri Amitabh Ranjanji, and the track details for the day was shared by Professor Nidhi Sharma, Dean Applied Sciences and Humanities, VSE and T and VIPS TC, where she informed about the tracks. And IIPA had successfully concluded the 6 technical sessions and tracks and a plenary on 19th March, that was yesterday. And the remaining tracks, that is track 7, 8 and 9, they were held today at VIPS in continuation with yesterday's session. The inaugural session was followed by plenary session, and the theme of the session was strengthening climate resilient infrastructure and community adaptation. The keynote address was delivered by Professor Harish Irani, former Director CSIR, Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Delhi, ASME Fellow, and he highlighted how incorporating climate risk assessment into infrastructure planning will help in identifying vulnerabilities and prioritize the adaptation measures. Dr. Gopal Krishnan, scientist E at NIH Roorkee, pointed out how nature-based solutions like building green infrastructure can mitigate flooding and enhance climate resilience. Professor Sujit Kumar Sinha from Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Delhi, also delivered the keynote address, and he spoke about strengthening the climate resilient infrastructure and community adaptation. We were also joined by Professor Nibedita S. Ray Bennett from England, who's a professor of risk management, School of Business Teaching Center at Brooklyn University of Leicester. Madam focused on how important it is to manage risk through preparedness. I would also like to inform the House that we had a total participation of 250 plus. Why am I saying plus? Because as on date and time, we are receiving requests from students, from participants, that though the date has been extended, but if you can kindly allow us. That is why I do not have a concrete number. That is why I have summed it as a plus. This is a witness that the conference has met with success, and out of the total applications, the publications, presentations which we received, we according to the set standards which we had, there was an internal discussion wherein we laid down some benchmarks, some standards, and we had accepted 67 papers. And as the conference progressed, technical sessions and tasks were convened. Track 1 was mitigation and adaptation strategies for climate change in India, which was chaired by Dr. Satpathy and co-chaired by Dr. Dharmendra. A total of 16 participants took part in Track 1. Track 2 focused on integrating sustainable development goals into climate action plans, which was chaired by Professor Sujit Kumar Sinha and co-chaired by Dr. Navneet Kumar. And there were 24 participants who presented their paper in this track. Track 3 was on artificial intelligence for climate resilience in water management, which was chaired by Dr. Gopal Krishnan and co-chaired by Dr. Shrishti. Therein we had a number of 24 participants who presented their papers. The 4th track was on sustainable water resource management in the face of climate change, which was again chaired by Professor Prasoon Bhattacharya and co-chaired by Dr. Shubhangi, wherein we had 18 participants. The 5th track was, it highlighted on community engagement and capacity building for climate resilient water practices, which was chaired by Professor Vinod Kumar Sharma and co-chaired by Dr. Kumar Ankur. We had 16 participants who took part in this track. The 6th track was on innovative technologies for water conservation and quality monitoring, and it was chaired by Dr. Dipali and Dr. Daisy Bhatt, and it was the participants who participated, who presented their papers, were 19 in number. Day 2 also witnessed special address by Shri Surendranath Tripathi, DG IIPA, who shared his insights on tech-driven climate resilient solutions. And of course, I don't have to reiterate, there were a lot of examples in between, lot of connect in between. The laughter of the hall said it all. And of course, it was followed by the address by DG Madam And of course, we had the pleasure of having the Vice Chairman as well with us in the inaugural session, Shri Vineet Vats sir. It was then followed by the plenary session wherein Professor Prasoon Bhattacharya, KTH Royal Institute of Sweden, he talked upon the various facets of water, and then the other professors, other dignitaries in the plenary session were Dr. Pankaj Thakur, Associate Professor, GNU. We also had stalwarts like Professor Arun Kansal, Coca-Cola Department Regional Water Studies, Terry Sass, and we also had a very enlightening address by Dr. Pooja Devi, Principal Scientist, CSIR, CSIO, Chandigarh. Subsequently, we had the 7th track on innovative technologies and sustainable solutions for water security, chaired by Professor Prasoon Bhattacharya and co-chaired by Dr. Sonal Khurana. It had seen a registration of 38 participants. Moving on to track 8, it titled Technological Advancements, SDGs and Mitigation Strategies, wherein it was chaired by Dr. Arun Kansal, co-chaired by Dr. Vanita Bhardwaj, and 27 participants presented their papers. Last but not the least, we had track number 9. We concluded the conference. The track was on green material and role of AI technology for sustainability. And I'm sorry, I do not have who chaired and who co-chaired. Excuse me for that. We had a total of 30 participants who presented their papers. The abstracts of the papers are combined, they are compiled in the proceedings of the International Conference on Integrating Climate Action, AI, SDGs and Water Management, which was released in the session, in the inaugural session in the morning by all the dignitaries. And to foster, because I know if I talk too much, if I read too much, I can see a lot of talking, a lot of murmuring in between, as if everybody is waiting when is she going to stop. So something of your interest to now. To foster a sense of healthy competition, 3 best papers we had announced that we will be giving you, right? And we've already done the process of selection, but I must admit that it was a real Herculean task for us. We had to do a lot of permutation and combination so as to maintain the justice as well, and to see that the bestest of the paper gets selected. And very soon we will be definitely declaring that based on the criteria of the evaluation, and the chair and the co-chair have done their jobs perfectly well. And this is the gist of the 2-day conference which we had. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the entire discourse with reference to the presentation of the report of the conference. Now, moving further, it's an honor to invite you to the chief guest of our today's valedictory session, Professor C.K. Vashne, sir, who is here to deliver the special address. But before we commence the session, I would humbly request DG ma'am and Amitabh Ranjan, sir, along with V.K. Sharma, sir, to kindly felicitate, sir, with a token of gratitude from VIPS TC. So please. A huge round of applause for. Now, on behalf of IPA, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Address, you can announce that I have to announce that professor, I mean, he's not coming, so I have to announce that Sprinja series. I'll just take a minute.
Okay. So I just
For you, yeah, there's an announcement to be made for the surprise which we had, and उसके बाद से
okay, there is some change in the plan. There is an announcement to be made. The surprise which was discussed yesterday, Shamli ma'am will be stating the fact and the details about it. So, ma'am, please.
So actually, I was not supposed to share and announce a surprise, but the things have been so unfolded that the chief editor of the Springer series, he had some very urgent commitment, and he was there till 2:30. That was his promise, but because the program got a little delayed, he had a flight to catch. So he has requested me to announce. So I'm very, very happy to share and announce to all the paper presenters that the presentations which you have done, they will be again evaluated, and based on the alignment of the papers, we are coming up with a book by Springer book series, and the title of the book would be Climate Actions, AI Tools, Water and SDGs, as a part of the prestigious Springer book series, Disaster Resilience, Green Growth and Sustainability. This book would explore the carbon neutrality, bio-based economy, waste reduction, water conservation and climate change mitigation. All the details regarding the same would soon be flashed to you over your emails, and I'll request that all those presenters whom we reach out to, please restrict yourself to the timelines for a publication that should come in time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the surprise. It's indeed a blessing because we are going to have a Springer edition. So now I formally invite Professor C.K. Varshney, sir, a renowned environmentalist, scientist serving as a professor emeritus at Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi, distinguished adjunct professor at AIT Bangkok, who is having a career of infinite kinds as he played key roles including the Secretary of the National Committee on Environmental Planning and Coordination. Sir has led the team of India's delegation to the 1972 Stockholm Conference on the Human Environment. Sir is the shaping factor for the environmental policy, founding the National MAB Committee and leading major international initiatives such as the Ramsar Convention and the UNESCO Biosphere Reserves Task Force. He initiated national research programs on ecology and conservation and has contributed to numerous international as well as national environmental organizations. Sir is an author of several influential books and articles, and he received prestigious awards including the Vasvik Award for Success and Prestige. In terms of the Swami Paramanand Saraswati Award, his contributions towards environmental science and policy make him a key figure in the global efforts towards sustainability and conservation. I invite you, sir, to please guide us with your words of wisdom. A huge round of applause for sir.
Namaskar to everyone. I'm very grateful for the organizers of this 2-day event to invite me and join this function. I'm particularly thankful to Professor Amita Dev, Director General, for her courtesy and hospitality. And as soon as I entered the campus, I felt so elevated and happy to see the beautiful, colorful flowers that have been decorating this campus. And I think those who are studying here are very fortunate to really get their lessons and pursue their loved topics and studies in this beautiful environment. I'm also thankful to the dignitaries which are sharing this stage, Professor V.K. Sharma, my old friend, with whom I have had a lot of interaction and have learned many things, and we share very common concerns and feeling about environment. We have also Professor Nidhi Sharma and the registrar of the IIPA, who has been wonderful doing teaching and first-rate research at IIT Delhi, as well as taking care of administrative functions and supporting IIPA. And finally, Dr. Shamli Singh, who has been responsible and actually the fulcrum of this whole activity, which has gone on so well. Now, coming to the topic of the afternoon, water, and particularly Sustainable Development Goal 6, which is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, as you already know. And this particularly relates to the water and life in water. You know, water is a very important, very, I should say, great substance that we have. We have this earth, and the earth is known for its water, and 78% is nothing but water. Your body is also about 78% water. And in fact, water is so important that without water, no chemical reactions takes place. The chemistry comes to a naught in absence of water. And the productivity of earth becomes zero without water. And no industrial activity can move forward without water. And this we learn hard way, repeatedly. But unfortunately, water is undervalued, water is underappreciated, and water is under-prioritized on a global agenda. In spite of the fact that day in and day out, water reminds us of its importance and its pivotal position that it occupies in the global affair. Be an industrial society, be a rural society, or be a developed country, the underpinning of all their well-being is all rest upon water. In fact, water is a magician that the God has given us on this planet. You see, with this light, it can change into vapor, it can come as a liquid, it can become solid, it can entertain you, provide you a means to really for water sports. And if you are living by the front of a water lake or any water body, I think the real cost of your property goes very high. And if you are renting a house which is facing through your window some water spot or some water body, you have to pay high. Or if not, then to go and have a feel that how the free water looks like, I think people are ready to pay in any society, anywhere in the world, a good amount of money and time to experience the feel of the water. So water is something which is very important. It has got high kinetic energy flowing on the basis of, under the influence of gravity, and therefore has a very potential energy that we harness. And I think it is the water which is being considered as a decarbonized source of energy, and thus gets very close relationship with the climate change that we are talking and which is really affecting our day-to-day life in more than one way. Now, water being so important that since morning till evening, you cannot really think of living without water. Whenever there is a conference, the water bottle is always there. The doctor reminds you, take enough water. From morning till evening, I think repeatedly you encounter with water. Now, this only shows its importance and its vital utility in our day-to-day life. And this water is being mistreated and disregarded and disrespected, not only here, but by every community. And the more you develop, the more disregard you really throw on the water resources. And that is the reason that most of the rivers of the world, as well as water bodies, are shamefully suffering from a variety of pollutants, including the never die chemicals, which are creating a huge problem and are a source of great worry for the future generations. Now, coming to the Sustainable Development Goal 6, what does it say? It says safe water and sanitation for all. And safe water and sanitation is a must for your health, for your well-being, for your prosperity, and for your future development. And I will just give you one or two examples that what we mean by this and how does it really affect us. For example, it is not too long ago that in the Africa, you will find that there was a zero water day. No water will be supplied. And at our home front in 2019 in Chennai, you may recall that there was absolutely no water available in the city. And the water has to be hauled and transported by using trucks and trains from long distances. This is the state of affairs that we have. Even in Delhi, I do not know in which society and which locality you live, seasonally for certain period of time you feel the great constraint of water. In fact, the water problem has been one of the reasons that the governments gets changed, and you will find that the new establishment that comes becomes powerful only on the hope that they will provide safe and clean drinking water. Supplying water is one aspect, but providing sanitation and hygiene is associated with it, which receives even lesser and lesser attention. And this is very, very concerning. You will find that almost 20 people out of 100 suffer from one or the other kind of water-related problem, and with great amount of erosion to their health and to their well-being and working hours. I would like to add few more things that because of the climate change, there are a lot of problems that are taking place. Some of them are known as unusual events, where you have got sudden burst of rain, which we are calling as cloud burst and so on. And they will find that there is a flood. And you know the number of people which are getting affected because of this. And because of the flood and the drought is increasing both in terms of its geographical spread as well as in terms of its intensity and duration. Duration, intensity, and geographical spread is progressively increasing. And this is all resulting into, once you have water scarcity, the hygiene and sanitation is the worst sufferer. And that is the reason that you have the problem of Yamuna pollution and all the 400 rivers that we have in this country, which are the lifeline for our agriculture, for industry, and for our domestic use, are all suffering progressively and decreasing in their water quality. So along with this, water quality comes in 4, and all this results and impacts your health, which really forces your longer and a frequent stay and visit to the hospital, costing you money. So I think that these are the things which are associated with the water. There are many other things which happen. You see, it was like this, that in Mysuru, in the state of Karnataka, where you have this thermal power plant, has to be stopped because there was no water, and water mismanagement resulted into the power plant to shut down, and therefore there was electricity shortage, and because of the electricity shortage, the refinery could not work for 3 months. Can you believe this? And you can imagine that how economic implication it all have, apart from the kind of health implications that are there. So I think the water becomes very critical and very, very important. Now a constant monitoring, evaluation becomes necessary. And it is here that the AI comes very handy. And it provided a great promise for really searching the data, collating it, as well as presenting it in a manner that the policymakers and the planners can take a very conscious view on the water issue. And this kind of AI tool provides a very effective way of monitoring, evaluation, and comprehending the water issue in its entirety, so that it can be taken care for planning, forecasting, and policy formulation. There is one thing which is very important. Although AI is very important and makes the task very easy, but at the same time we have to be mindful that AI depends on the type of data that is available on the net. So if we do not have high quality data, and our data bank is not the kind on which you are reliable or which is reliable enough, then I think that this requires a certain amount of caution. AI is mechanistic. It is not innovative. And I think the AI and the innovation of the human brain If they can hybridize, then I think here is a very powerful outcome which can manage the water in a very significant way. For doing this, you require all the stakeholders to come together. When we talk of stakeholders, doesn't mean only bureaucrats and water managers and the experts, but at the same time, those who are using water, and every one of us is a stakeholder. So I think we have to popularize it. But as I said, that it is undervalued and it is also underfunded also. There is some estimate which shows that to really successfully accomplish and to achieve the objectives of SD6, an amount which varies from 20 billion to about 1.4 trillion annually is required to manage the water resources for safe sanitation, acceptable hygiene, and safe water quality for drinking. I think our water mission and the other, the kind of toilet program that we have are contributing to this, but they are not enough. Much more is need to be done. You see, when we have a COVID, you will see that to wash your hands, the kind of propaganda and the kind of article and the kind of innovative, I should say, the advertisement that came were so many and was so powerful. Even then, it has not been able to enlist everyone to the minimum need of washing hands. So what I am trying to say is that it is a multi-generational problem. And in order to see that the present generation and the future generations to come to have a safe environment, enough water, at the same time they conserve water, the water efficiency is important, water quality is important, water monitoring is important, water evaluation is important, and verifying the data is also very important. And all these things have to work in seamless way in order to provide the ultimate objective of providing water for everybody's enlightenment, water for growth, and water for development. One more point that I would like to make a mention, that our agriculture is limited by many things. And what agriculture is one of the major users of water. 78% to 90% in some places, all water that is used for agriculture. And if we want to grow more, we require more water, so simple. Because there has to be some kind of a equation balance between production and the inputs that go to produce any particular substance. So I think in this aspect, we need more water, and water quantity is limited. You cannot increase water, you cannot decrease water. The water quantity remains the same, and therefore there is a global water cycle. Now this is something on which we have to think about. And I think we have to find innovative ways by which our water use in agriculture gets reduced. And I think for this, what our Prime Minister says, more crop per drop. I think that has to be practiced, and that has to be really unlocked. And I think it has to be pursued vigorously and with commitment, so that you have crops which give you more crop per drop. At the same time, we have got a method of irrigation of plants which is not a flooding irrigation as has been widely practiced, both in this country and elsewhere, but the new techniques which are known as the spray agriculture, or whatever you may call it, drip agriculture. But all this requires enormous amount of infrastructure which is lacking and which is requiring enormous amount of capital expenditure, maintenance and management. All these things require innovative thinking to reduce these constraints and make it simple, within reach of an average farmer, and at the same time saves water and makes it available for growing more crops and for more agricultural production. One important point about water is that you cannot consume it. I and you are drinking water, but don't think that we are able to consume any water. We don't consume any water. When we take bath, we don't consume any water. We deteriorate the water quality. So I think there is only one consumptive use of water, that is agriculture, where water is provided and gets transformed into a evapotranspiration in form of a vapors or whatever you may call it. Otherwise, you don't use water. And I think this is a good property, so that you have an opportunity of recycling water. So I think that one of the objectives of SDG 6 is to recycle. And recycle in a safe way, economic way, satisfactorily, which is continuously monitored and assured for its quality. So I think these are some of the tasks that we have in which AI can contribute greatly. And if we are able to achieve these kinds of measures with respect to the water, then I think it is going to help you a great deal in dealing with the problem of climate change. And there are many ways in which it can happen, but I will highlight only one. And that is the wetlands are collectively hold more water than the amount of water available in your entire river system, many times more. And they are the least one on anybody's agenda. They have become actually cesspool, many of the places. And you can recall the talks and the stories that you might have heard from your elderly in the home, that every village has more than one pond. And around the pond, there were cultural activities, there were social activities, and they served as a binding point for bringing the community together. And we still see the Chhat Puja is one such example which continues. And more recently, it is the Allahabad Kumbh which you can see, where Triveni is nothing but a wetland, that you will find that the entire human population congregated with great reverence. So I think that apart from these cultural values which flow out of it automatically, but more importantly is that we have to maintain them in good quality. And their purity has to be respected. And for this, there are two things that are going to happen. First, they serve as a source of aquifer, so that during non-rainy period, which in our country lasts for 9 months, they are the source of the water. And depositing water on the surface is a poor way of holding water. There are two ways of holding water. You have a dam, which I think this country has spent enough money for decades together to create them, which are to be, in some sense, for some, they considered as a monsters. But at the same time, the water loss becomes very high. And once you have a climate change, it becomes even more high. So right thing is to hide the water at a place where the climate change does not evaporate water and loses water. Because when you need water most, it is at that time water loses most. So I think in order to avoid this situation, you have to maintain and regenerate all the deteriorated wetlands. And wetlands are dying 3 times faster than deforestation. So you can see a resource which is so precious, which helps us to store water when we need water most, because once these wetlands are there, through gravity, water goes through the column of the soil. As it passes through the column of the soil, water gets treated, and this aquifer becomes a good quality water. So I think at zero cost, you get your water treated, you get your water during the period when you need it most, available to you at your footstep. But because of the mining of the water and because of the agricultural use of the water, that we find our aquifers are depleting. So I think replenishing aquifers, at the same time treating water at the same time making it available during summer period when we need the most. I think wetlands have to play a very vital role, which until now have remained neglected. And this is my one suggestion. I think there is also this Sarovar, Amrit Sarovar, 1,000? 10,000 Amrit Sarovars. We require not 10,000, over 1 million such Sarovars. Before I end, I want to share one talk that I had with Professor Amita Devji here, that it is good time that out of the various sustainable development goals, I think your institute adopts one such goal as the adopted by the institute, and really create the necessary studies, publicity, as well as promotion to contribute to the sustainability as well as welfare of the women's health and child care. And I think the water plays a very important role in this respect as well. So I stop here and thank you very much for your patience here.
Thank you so much, sir, for guiding us with your words of wisdom and highlighting the importance of water conservation. Before we proceed further, I humbly request Professor C.K. Vashne, sir, DG ma'am, along with Professor Nidhi, to felicitate Amitabh Ranjan, sir. A token of appreciation on behalf of VIPS TC. I humbly request ma'am and sir to please felicitate VK Sharma, sir, please. Sir, we are doing it together. A token of appreciation on behalf of VIPS TC. Now we would like to felicitate Dr. Shamli ma'am. On behalf of VIPS TC. A token of gratitude on behalf of VIPS TC. A huge round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. All right, now I humbly invite Amitabh Ranjan, sir, Registrar IPA, to offer his perspective. Sir is a BTech in Petroleum Engineering from IIT ISM Dhanbad, along with an MBA degree in HR. He has over a quarter century of experience in diversified fields, including civil services. Sir has wide experience of grassroots governance and public administration, including the handling of various government schemes, along with the financial management, journal administration, and capacity building. His dedication towards academia brings excellence and institutions to growth as a guiding force for impactful initiatives. A huge round of applause for Sir.
Thank you for such a generous introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. It's post-lunch session, so a little drowsiness is there after the lunch. It is what is called. So just a little drowsiness, a little silence, but we will try to cheer you up. Actually, what Professor Varshney said about this campus first, and ma'am, I really appreciate, I second that. You have a lovely campus, and apart from that, you have maintained it also very well. That is the main thing. That all this flowers, all this greenery, all this cleanliness, everything is maintained. And this creates a vibrant atmosphere. In fact, Professor Nihar Ranjan was kind enough to show me some part of the campus and the library also, the engineering section of the library, and that is so vibrant, so beautiful, so spacious, so well ventilated, that it's heartening to see children sitting there and studying there. And in fact, I saw the Indian knowledge system also there, and we had a very good discussion of our Indian knowledge system. And I would like to connect with Indian knowledge system, that what this climate change, climate action and everything is going on, we knew 7,000 years back also. There is one example in Ramcharitmanas. I would like to tell you that when Ramchandra ji was trying to find a way to Lanka between the sea, and he was just offering prayers to the sea that please give us a way, please give us a way. And then there was, all the efforts were in vain. And then he went for his bow and arrow, and then the sea god came in front and he apologized and gave way. He told the way how to approach Lanka, how to make a bridge. But then राम said that, हे देव, सारी बातें तो आपकी ठीक हैं, मैं सागर पे बांध बना लूँगा, लंका पहुँच जाऊँगा. What to do with this arrow which is now on the bow? ये धनुष पे जो बाण का संधान मैं कर चुका हूँ, कहाँ छोड़ूँ इसे? What the sea said? Sea said कि प्रभु, आपके बाण को सहन करने की क्षमता तो किसी में नहीं है. Nobody has enough courage or power to tolerate the power of your arrow. But there is one mountain in the east. He said about some distance, I am forgetting that. In the east, धूम्रकेतु, बताया कि धूम्रकेतु पर्वत है यहाँ से पूर्व दिशा में. Only the धूम्रकेतु पर्वत has the power to tolerate the power of your arrow. आप इस बाण को धूम्रकेतु पे छोड़ दीजिए. And when you see Rameshwaram to Mount Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, you all would be knowing Mount Barren Island is the only volcano, though it is dormant, India has. And Ramchandji, of course, released his arrow to Dhumraketu. But then, what I am trying to highlight, that 7,000 years back also we knew that one volcano is there, Dhumraketu is there. वो एकदम पूर्व दिशा में है. It is eastward from Rameshwaram to Mount Barren Island, Andaman and Nicobar Island. So, the climate change, all these things are not new to us. We have all these things in our history, mythology, or what Professor Nihar Ranjan gave a beautiful name to that, social history. Now, I forgot, there are so many gurus here, gurus on this side also, gurus on dais, all gurus are there, gurus in front of me also. And it gives a very great feeling when you are with teachers and with students. And I would like to mention one shlok for all of you, gurus. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. आप सभी का अभिनंदन है गुरुओं का, and students also, dear students who have come and who have participated wholeheartedly in this 2-day conference on integrated climate action, SDGs, AI and water management. Of course, it is very foolhardy to speak after a doyen of the caliber of Professor Varshney has spoken, because what I am going to do is only to repeat him. We have nothing new. He has so much of research in this field, and after his speech, my speech hardly matters, but still I will try to entertain you. And what I was trying to highlight, this integrated thing. We have been hearing the conferences on, say, AI or AI and climate change or water resource management in silos. But for the first time, I am seeing this integrated action, climate action, SDGs, water management, AI, because this is not an age of working in silos. Because all these things are part and parcel of the same coin, that is climate smart governance. We have to connect water management also with climate action plans and with the help of AI also. So my big thanks to the conference coordinators, Professor V.K. Sharma, Dr. Shyamli Singh, Professor Nidhi Sharma, for coming up with such an imaginative title of this conference. I remember one shlok also in this, Eko Aham. You would have heard the second line very often. The first line is, Eko Aham Dvitiyo Nasti. Eko Aham Dvitiyo Nasti na bhuto na bhavishyati. But this shlok, Eko Aham Dvitiya Nasti, may be true for the God, but it is not true for lesser mortals like you and me. We have to work among ourselves. We have to work in a team. We have to strike hard or on all subjects in an integrated manner. And that's why this conference is very important. Yesterday, Dr. Shyamli Singh, some of you might be there in IAPA, Dr. Shyamli Singh was mentioning about wildfire in California. And although Trump has withdrawn USA from the Paris Agreement, but still they are having this Californian wildfire. So that means climate change is real. And we have to encounter that. In fact, not only in California, so far away, we have been having wildfires in Uttarakhand, recent wildfire. Then just 1 month back, the Khelo India program in Gulmarg, which was to start on 22nd February, was postponed because there was no snow. So these are the hard realities of climate change that we are facing today. In fact, there is a research report. What I am going to tell about urbanization, we are urbanizing so fast that by 2050, over 87 crore of Indians will be living in cities. And our infrastructure in cities are crumbling. We are facing so many things. The heat island phenomena, all these things. There is a report, cities, climate change, and chronic heat exposure, which tells about one parameter of temperature, that is wet bulb globe temperature. WBGT, wet bulb globe temperature. Some of the students might be from geography who would have heard about this WBGT. So it says that Indian cities are very prone to one lethal form of heat, that is extreme heat combined with humidity, extreme humidity. And any temperature, any WBGT temperature above 30 degrees C is lethal. And in fact, 3 cities, Mumbai, Delhi and Kolkata, are already close to that range. They are in very hot category, and Bangalore is very close to achieving it. It is in very warm category. So this high WBGT is affecting our productivity, our efficiency in every field, be it agriculture, be it manufacturing, be it other industries. In fact, most of this heating phenomena or climate change phenomena we are observing on land. We are concerned with land. But as Professor Varshney was also saying about that we are 71% ocean, 71% water. Earth is 71% water. So all this climatic change action is going very fast in water field, in ocean and seas, and not on land. We are just facing those consequences. In fact, the World Meteorological Report, WMO report of State of Global Climate 2024 says that the heat trapped by greenhouse gases over the past 50 years, 90% of that heat has been absorbed by the oceans or seas, making them very, very hot. In fact, in 1960, the total energy consumption or storage in the seas was to the tune of minus 300 zetajoules. But coming to 2023, it is 133 zetajoules. So in 63 years, that has been very rapid heat absorptions, heat energy absorptions by the oceans and seas, and which are making the seas and oceans very warm. In fact, 25% of ocean and seas are corals, and it is affecting the whole of the coral ecosystem, whole of the oceanic biodiversity ecosystem, as well as making the seas warmer. So the frequency of cyclones, tsunamis, and all these catastrophes have increased. And India is facing the brunt of it in the form of so many cyclones in Indian Ocean region, Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. In fact, on 30th November itself, Cyclone Fengal attacked the eastern coast, and Puducherry was so devastated by this Fengal. In fact, just 1 month back, in October, Cyclone Dana struck the eastern coast of Odisha and Kolkata. In fact, Kolkata was spared just because of mangrove belt there. Otherwise, the storm height or waves height were so high to the tune of 25 feet. Before that, you might be remembering the cyclone Amphan in 2020. That was so devastating. So all these things are happening due to warming of surface temperature of oceans, the conservation of energy inside the oceans and seas, and this is the hard fact, reality. Professor Varshney has spoken so much about water, but before that, this heat, I would like to recite one sher on this, that शहरों को क्या देखें कि हर मंजर में जाले पड़ गए, शहरों को क्या देखें कि हर मंजर में जाले पड़ गए, शहरों को क्या देखें कि हर मंजर में जाले पड़ गए, ऐसी गर्मी है कि पीले फूल भी काले पड़ गए. And we faced that in Delhi itself, here. Remember the heat of 2024? It just crossed 51.9 degrees C in Nazafgarh. 51.9 degrees C. So that is testing the limit of the human survival. And about water, in fact, Earth is 71% water, but still, the fresh water availability is only 2.5% of the total water available. 2.5% only. And out of that also, 68% of fresh water is locked in polar ice caps, glaciers, and other such things. And we have the availability of only 0.3% of the fresh water, not of total water, 0.3% of the fresh water in the form of lakes, rivers, swamps, and all these things. So you can understand, water is so scarce. In fact, some of you might have attended the session in which Professor Hiresh Hirani spoke about the Assam water problem of arsenic. Any of you were there in that? You were there. So even the fresh water which is available, most of it is unusable due to so many problems of metallic contamination, other contaminations. So this is the conundrum we are facing right now. In fact, Rahat Indori has depicted it very well in the form of a शेर. मैंने अपनी खुश्क आँखों से लहू छलका दिया, मैंने अपनी खुश्क आँखों से लहू छलका दिया, एक समुंदर था जो पानी मांग रहा था. Even the ocean cannot drink its own water. Can it drink? The whole water is saline. It is not drinkable. समुंदर भी अपना पानी नहीं पी सकता. So the importance of water is so great. We have been dealing this in SDGs 6, 11, and 13. All these things on which this conference is based: water and sanitation, sustainable cities and communities, and climate action. And how to manage this conundrum, how to make water available. Professor Varshney was telling about this Amrit Sarovar scheme. Actually, it was announced, sir, by the Honorable Prime Minister of India on the 75th year of independence. And it was aimed at making 75 lakes in every district, Amrit Sarovar, in the name of Amrit Sarovar. And what the lakes are going to do? They are a source of fresh water. They will do the water recharge of groundwater. And they will prevent the rapid runoff of rainwater also to the rivers and to the seas. In fact, sir was mentioning about Chhath Puja also. Sir, I come from a small place in Bihar. My native city is Ara, that is a small town. And I remember, I will just tell you, that when we were small, so many lakes were there in Ara. In fact, there was one Dean's tank, the name Dean's tank, and we used to play there. But suddenly the tank evaporated, not only it disappeared, and all the flourishing market came over there. But the Dean's Tank Road is still there. The name of the road has not changed. Dean's Tank is not there, but Dean's Tank Road is there. Like you would have heard the song of Dawn, कोई बंदर नहीं है फिर भी नाम बांध रहा, चर्च का गेट है, चर्च है लापता. Have you heard this song? No. It is an old song now, but it is of our times. So, Dean's Tank Road is there, but Dean's Tank is not there. So, this is the travesty. So, making this Amrit Sarovar plan or all this water rejuvenation plan, what the Namami Gange program is doing, and IIPA is also a small part of that. of capacity building for stakeholders of Namami Gange program, Namami Gange team is also here. So we are trying to do a bit, trying to contribute a little bit to water conservation, water rejuvenation, which is very, very essential, as we cannot survive without water. In fact, what to do about all this climate change phenomena, water conservation, water management, heat management, how to mitigate this? Because problems are so many. But we have some solutions also, because the greenhouse gas emission or the carbon footprint is the main culprit behind this climate change phenomena. So how to reduce that? One thing, that to shift to renewable resources of energy like solar power, wind power, hydropower. Then one thing where water is again needed, what Professor Varshney was saying. It is a pet project of Government of India, that is green hydrogen. And green hydrogen, where does hydrogen come from? It comes from water, breaking of water into the molecules of hydrogen and oxygen. In fact, we have committed to achieve net zero by 2070 and to make the installed capacity of renewable energy up to 500 gigawatts by 2030. And we are striving towards achieving that also. Right now, we have around 220 gigawatts of installed capacity of renewable energy. We have crossed 102.4 gigawatts in solar installed capacity, 48.57 gigawatts in wind energy, 52 gigawatts in hydropower. But the problem is that all this like solar, wind, hydroelectricity, all these are intermittent. Like in the total energy mix, the percentage of solar is 20% installed capacity, but the generation is only to the tune of 7%. In fact, we are still heavily dependent on fossil fuels. Coal is our backbone. Over 60% of energy is produced by coal and others from rest like crude oil, petroleum and other things. And we have abundance of coal. So coal is going to be our backbone for the next 30 years. And in fact, not only India, USA, you would have heard about Trump saying, drill baby drill. Have you any of you have heard drill baby drill slogan by Trump? He is saying the petroleum companies to drill more petroleum, to take out more crude oil. So what is the solution? India cannot afford without fossil fuels. So we have to develop renewable energy side by side and try to minimize the consumption through fossil fuel also. But we have to remember that fossil fuels are not in themselves culprits. The carbon they emit, the carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases they emit are the main culprits. So is there a way out to reduce this carbon emission through fossil fuels? We are developing techniques like CCUS, carbon capture, utilization and storage. We are capturing carbon and making it to fly ash, like bricks from fly ash. Then carbon sequestration, like capturing carbon and putting it inside the rocks and lock it away for 1,000 and 10,000 years. In fact, we can use this captured carbon in many things also. Like, since I am a petroleum engineering graduate, I know there is a process enhanced oil recovery, EOR, where heavy water was used to push the crude oil out of the wells. But now we are trying to inject captured carbon inside the wells and take out the crude oil delivery through this push. So we have to develop new techniques. We have to work on the R&D, research and development. We as Indians are very poor in research and development. we have a very poor culture of research and development. In fact, there is Peter Drucker. Some of political science or public administration students might have heard about him. Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker once said that culture eats a strategy for breakfast. There are 3 pillars of success of an organization: culture, process, and its strategy. And you make a very good process, you make a foolproof strategy, but if the organizational culture is not good, then the organization will not succeed. And that's why great companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Infosys, and other great companies regularly hold workshops, seminars to improve only the organizational culture. So we have to imbibe a sense of or a culture of R&D in our organizations, research and development. Since you are an engineering institution, science and technology institution, and you have such a dynamic leader like Professor Amita Dev, so you can contribute in research and development in this field. Because without this, India cannot survive in any field. We are so dependent on every technology abroad, from USA, from China. In fact, the paracetamol, you might have heard about crocin. The paracetamol which is used in crocin comes from China, and it is not produced in India. So we have to reimagine ourselves. We have to imbibe a culture of R&D in India. So, about AI, how AI can help in all these things. As Professor Varshney was also saying, that AI can process, can analyze such a huge amount of data in seconds that human mind cannot process in years and years to come. In fact, Professor Nihar was telling about, Professor Nihar is saying to me that time is running out, but I would mention what he tells, that this VSET has procured one very good quantum computing system. And that is so fast from NVIDIA server, yes. So this is an example of cultivating the R&D in your institution, in your organization. And so time is running out. I won't take much of your time. And in any case, I will leave AI for discussion to discuss. Ma'am will discuss. You have such an expert in the field of AI here that I don't have courage to discuss AI in this field. So thank you very much. Thank you for patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for stating the facts and figures, giving us a reality check for the next generation to aim for sustainability. Now, to mark the culmination of this remarkable event, I would like to invite Professor Amita Dev Ma'am, Director General, VSENT and VSIT, to deliver the valedictory address. Ma'am, a huge round of applause for Ma'am, please.
A very good evening, everyone. And I promise I'll not take much time. I promise that. So, let me start with a quote. As usual, I always start with a quote. And the quote says, "Innovation is a key and sustainability is the destination. Let technology be the vehicle that will take you that destination," unquote. Esteemed Professor C.K. Varshney, eminent Shri Amitabh Ranjan, to whom we just heard, he is full of knowledge. The amount of facts and figures which he puts is enormous. Illustrious Dr. Shamli Singh, faculty, IIPA. Dynamic Professor Vinod Kumar Sharma, faculty, IIPA. Dedicated Professor Nidhi, our dedicated registrar, chairperson, heads of the department, and faculty members, research scholars, policy makers, change makers, academicians, and my very dear students. It's absolute an honor and privilege for me to address to you all onto the final leg, that is the validation ceremony of this 2 days conference, which has been on integrated climate change, artificial intelligence, sustainable development goals, and water management. We heard Professor Varshney talking a lot about water, so I will not touch on this at all. I promise that. He talked about data and data management. Definitely, water, when we are talking AI coming as a tool which helps us into the water, saving of water, precision water, irrigation of farms using water, and data if it is unbiased. He talked about data if it is biased will not yield me results, and hence we are looking forward for a sustainable solutions using AI, provided that the data is unbiased, data is free, and data is which is explainable and transparent data. We just heard Professor Amitabh Ranjan, who talked about climate change, which is very well known. Everyone is aware what is happening to the climate, the energy which India is producing, and this energy which is almost, we are getting 200 gigawatts from the renewable sources, and out of which almost 9.5 gigawatt used to be produced by solar energy way back in 2014. And within 10 years, India has witnessed the rise in the solar energy, which has reached to 95 gigawatts or almost 100 gigawatts, but we have a long way to go. He talked about fossil fuels. Yes, our dependency, and we are going to use fossil fuels. The only thing is to manage the carbon dioxide and the other emissions which are happening. Believe me, the kind of the vehicles which move on the road are responsible for almost 10% of the greenhouse effect which is being done. So what is the solution? Electrical vehicles is a solution. So we have electrical vehicles on the road. Perhaps we'll get rid of that 10% which is giving a greenhouse effect. A lot has been talked about the Sustainable Development Goals, but before that I must compliment our chairperson, Shri S.C. Vasji, and in absentia our vice chairman, Vineet Vats and Suneet Vasji, for giving us the environment where we are sitting. And all of them, they have applauded the effort of maintaining green, such a clean environment at VIPS TCR. So big round of applause for the management who has provided us this culture, this beautiful place where we are all working. We have witnessed in these 2 days almost 4 keynote speakers who addressed on the day one. We had 6 tracks, almost 36 papers were presented. And on the day 2, again, we had 4 keynote addresses. We had 3 tracks and almost 24 papers were presented. I was generally browsing through that, and most of the papers, they were confined. They were talking about artificial intelligence, climate change, water, and so on and so forth. And we are talking of sustainability. But I cannot hold myself talking of one vertical of sustainability which is missing, and especially when India wants to become a Viksit Bharat. When we have given a clarion call that India by 2047 will become a Viksit Bharat, which is that dimension, which is that vertical. And that vertical to become sustainable for India is women. If you leave 50% of the population who's not contributing, India cannot become Viksit Bharat. You educate a man, you simply educate a man, but you educate a woman, you educate a generation. Empowering women is a prerequisite of any nation. That's what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, and I quote, empowering women is the prerequisite of any nation. The nation with stability will be assured, the nation with sustainability will be assured if the women are empowered. So we need to work on sustainability for a new era of dimensionality comes in. Women in leadership roles are a way towards sustainability. We should look into that sustainability. I'll just take 2 minutes and I promise that. So if you look at World Economic Forum, the gender global index rate, where we are talking about what is the gender global rate, index rate, India stands at 129th position out of 146 countries. It is closing the gender gap by 64%, meaning thereby it is absolutely astonishing to note it will take 136 years to close the gender gap. can we achieve sustainable India if we will take 136 years to close the gender gap. If you look at World Economic Forum 2024, it says women participation in the emerging technologies is minuscule. Only 10% of the women, they participate in research, 12% of the women are participating in artificial intelligence research, 15% are participating in cloud computing, and if you look at women in leadership roles, only 25% of the women, they are participating in leadership roles. If you look at World Bank data, it talks about that what is the role of the women in the labor market. In the labor market, though we speak very proud about the GER, that is gross enrollment ratio of women, which is 43%, is absolutely highest in the world. But what happens? Leaky bucket. And when you see that the women who is participating in the labor market, you will be astonished to note it is only 32% Indian women who are participating in the labor market, as against USA, which is 61%, Canada, which is 66%, Sweden, which is 68%. So I think for sustainability, this vertical is also very, very important. I stop here. Yeah. Now, the main thing for which I should be talking about is the best paper result. And that is the best paper result which you are all waiting for. So the first position, there are 3 awards. The first position goes to paper number ICW 1971, Green Goshala. Let's give them a big round of applause. Should we be calling them here? So, may I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward and give this Best Paper Award to this Green Goshala. Please, all the writers, please come on the stage. एक ही बात है चलो then you announce.
First position ICW 1971, Green Goshala, Sajid, Varsha Ruhal, Meenakshi Joshi, Yoshita Singh, Soumya Rungta, Sanjay Oja. They will be receiving 5,000 as cash, as Shamli ma'am on first day mentioned. For second position, we had a tie. I could not say it's a tie. There are 3 positions, 3 papers that we have selected for the second position. ICW 1953. ICW 1979, ICW 1983. Arsh Bhatt, Daisy Bhatt, Bhavya Bhagchandani, Yoshita Mittal, Subhangi Madan, Sarika, Sangeeta Tiwari, Keshav Mishra, Hardik Srivastav, Dr. Nikita Sharma, Dr. Khushbu. I'll request everyone to be on stage. So the second position amount, 3,000, would be shared by all of them. Please go ahead. You can hand over the bunch, maybe they can collect later. Check later on, just take one with you for the photograph. Third position, ICW 1950, Pallavi Agarwal, Devansh Sachdeva, Rhythm Arora, Komal Agarwal, Vineet Verma. Third position, ICW, please be on stage. ICW 1950. I hope all of you are on stage. Certificates they received. Congratulations to all the winners. After this, I would request all the participants to come forward track-wise. For track 1 participants, I would request to come on stage and have a photographic memory with the people on the dais. Please come. Track 1. Ma'am, we have distributed them the certificates. They will come with the certificates for the photographs. Please come fast. Yes, track 2, you can form a line and stand here. Track 2. Professor Bhaskar, please come on stage. He was also a part. Please come, sir. Please come. Track 2. Please be quick. Everyone, please be quick. Track 3, form a line. Meanwhile, come here. Can come. Come past. Come on stage, quick. Track 4, form a line meanwhile. Faculty from VIPS who have participated in these tracks can also join in for the photographic memory. Please come forward. I know many of you, your papers are here in, I think, almost all tracks, so please be on stage. Track 5, quickly form a line. So track 4, 5, 6, I think are small groups. Track 6, smaller groups. Yeah. track 6. Track 6 now. Track 6. Track 7, come forward. Track 7, come forward now. Track 8 can form a line meanwhile. You can go in front of also.
नीचे बैठ जाता चलो
Track 8 and 9, come forward. Please clap for your fellows. They are receiving the certificate. You are also receiving. No, that's okay. Track. It's okay. Track 8, come forward. Oh, track 8 is here. Track 9. Faculty is also requested to please join in. Okay, the last track, track 9. Track 9, come forward. Take your places.
Now I would like to invite the conveners of the conference, Professor.
On stage.
So we'll present a token of gratitude again. Okay, ma'am. Okay. All the faculty members, conveners, co-conveners, IPA organizations, member,
No, one by one.
VIPS TC organizers, please come together for the photograph. IIPA organizing team, Dr. Mahia Kulsu, Miss Simran Yadav, Miss Himanshi Negi, Miss Siddharth Srivastav, Mr. Udit Kumar, Miss Gulshan.
Gulnar.
We are taking the team photograph. Please be on stage.
शिवांगी मैम पॉपुलर ये देना है ना मैम को ओके
Student coordinators, please come on the dais. Everybody, please come for the photograph. Student volunteers, student coordinators, head, please be here. Backstage, student management team, please be here.
Siddharth. इसमें खड़े रहो नेक्स्ट I request team IIPA to come again forward for the group photo. Simran, Gulnar, Udit, Siddharth, Himanshi. Yeah, please IIPA team come in front.
And before we conclude, I would like to invite Professor VK Sharma for the quick vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Honorable Professor Amita Devji, DG VIPS, Shri Amitabh Ranjan, Registrar IIPA, Professor C.K. Varshney ji, Chief Guest of this event or valedictory function, my esteemed colleague Dr. Shamli ji, Professor Nidhi Sharma ji, Dean Applied Science and Humanities of VIPS, all faculty colleagues of VIPS, our team of IIPA, ladies and gentlemen. My job is very simple, it's a vote of thanks. I think the simplest work is this one. But I would like to give a message, through this even vote of thanks. One is that our Director General this morning already mentioned that this was a unique workshop of the two institutions, a unique type of collaboration Normally, when collaboration is there, the event is at one place, but it is at two places, and such nicely coordinated at two places that we have no words, to describe that. Highly professional, and for that, I think each one of you, because participants' contribution is also very important in that. It's not only organizers, even participants are equally, they should be congratulated. First of all, I am grateful to Ministry of Water Resources, Namami Gange, for believing IIPA for this very prestigious program on capacity building. And under this program, we are doing so many things. And this was a unique workshop which is designed by my colleague Dr. Shamli ji, and on the guidance of our able Director General and Registrar Amitabh ji. And we were having some set objectives for that. We were thinking that this should go in this, in this set way. And I am saying it, there is no exaggeration that we achieved, what we really thought from this workshop. There were two dual objectives. One is that, sensitize all researchers about water resource management. And second thing was that the collaboration which we started between two institutes, that should be strengthened. Secondly, I compliment and congratulate, DG VIPS and DG IIPA, and both of them, start from, yesterday, DG Madam Amita ji, she gave her address, and I think everybody appreciated that. It was full of meaning, each, our registrars were saying that I think she is a data bank, it's so much of data. And so when Amitabh ji is saying this, that it means that really she is, no, I think the important thing is that she conveyed the message that what is the need of the hour and what we need. Today, our Director General, he purposely came, and he was actually chief guest in another function, and he had to leave for Odisha Bhavan. But he came here, and he spent some time, gave his address, and I think that was another unique way of connecting with each one of you. Everybody again appreciated. So these two Director Generals, they set the tone, for this workshop. They gave you a sort of, I should say, without saying, that how to give presentation, So the presentation or communication skill, when we are saying it is important for scientists, I think these two persons have communicated that. I think Dr. Shamli ji very rightly said that all the tracks, all the keynote speakers, I think they were extraordinary. And for that, I think our Professor Nidhi ji and Shamli ji, they selected such a good speakers that they spoke very well. And our students, I am sure that they are benefited by their presentations. I'm also grateful to Professor C.K. Varshney. Normally, I was thinking that because just last month he was not well, so I was thinking that I will give him some rest and we will not disturb him. But then Dr. Shamli Singh said that without him and the workshop like this will not be complete. So we requested him and he could come. And he's a reservoir of knowledge. I think very few people might be knowing that 1972, when Stockholm Conference was there, Professor C.K. Varshney was the member secretary of that, and he took the Indian delegation to Stockholm, where Mrs. Gandhi was heading the delegation. He was with the Planning Commission. And not only Mrs. Gandhi, I think her cabinet colleagues and all that, and the way he organized that event, some other time, he will speak to you that how India started, talking on ecology, environment, and what is his contribution, in that. So in 70s, when nobody was talking about ecology, environment, from those days, our teacher, Professor R. Mishra and K.C. Mishra, and people like C.K. Varshney, they are talking about environment, importance of environment, ecology, etc. And they are mentor to so many, I am including myself. So grateful to you, sir. We can say a lot about you because you initiated so many things over here. I'm grateful to Amitabh ji. Actually, he was busy and I requested him to come at lunchtime, but he was having a meeting morning also because he's registrar of a very prestigious institution. But on our request, he could come. And he speaks very well, he's very knowledgeable. He's from ISM Dhanbad. And I normally say that whenever we, not only in this project, but whenever we request him to come, many times we use him as a resource person actually. I was in Guwahati and I requested him that on financial management I don't have any speaker. So he said, okay, then I will take a session. And he took a session, with the scientists and told them, what is financial management. So he's a multi-purpose, multi-tasker, I should say, and we can use him in any form, as a registrar, as a faculty member, and as a resource person. Thank you very much, Amitabh ji, that you could come. And Shamli ji, as Amitabh ji was saying, that she is a fulcrum, so I think I fully agree. My colleague Shamli ji, whatever she does, it is very methodical, professional way. And our whole team, actually, I should be grateful to each one of them that they did their best. Last but not the least, the faculty and the participants. Faculty of this institution, I can see that since last 2 days, the way they are managing things in IIP also, they were helping us. And today we have seen it here. All the participants, their discipline, I think each and everything was so impressive that I have no words, to thank you. In my opinion, this was a very successful event, and Professor Varshney has given a task to this institute that out of the SDGs, I think, give one SDG, maybe the women and, children, or any other aspect, you think that. Madam, you very rightly said that women empowerment is important, and without that you cannot think of Viksit Bharat. You are already doing it. On stage also you have made it sure that it should be 50-50. And on other side also, you can see that at least, if not 50-50, that I think 45-55.
Almost 80% of faculty in VIPS are female.
So thank you very much. That's right. So in the end, I thank each one of you for your contribution, for your participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of IIPA and VIPS TC, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed speakers, participants, sponsors, and organizing team for making this event a grand success. Thank you everyone, and we look forward to more such future collaborations for a sustainable tomorrow, bringing the youth to commit to such vital causes and standing for the nation. Thank you everyone.